What's going on YouTube? Yamayati, welcome to the channel. And in today's episode, we're working again on the Benelli 135 TNT. Now guys, today we will be installing a brake light modulator from TST Industries. Now TST does not make one specifically for the Benelli. They make one for the Honda Grom and the Z125 Pro. I picked up the Honda Grom version. Basically, it's the same component with just a little wiring configuration difference, and I was able to figure it out. So we will be installing that today and making some modifications for it to work. It's not a plug and play, so this video may be a little lengthy and may require a little more skill, but guys, if you follow the video, pay attention, you should be able to duplicate this yourself. So if you want, stick around, stay tuned, and enjoy.
If any of this content interests you, do me a huge favor. Don't forget to hit the like button. If you want, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification to be notified of all new uploads.
Alright guys, to save time on this install video, I'm going to go ahead and skip a few steps. First thing you have to do is remove this seat. You put the key in, remove the front seat. You guys already know how to do that. Second thing is you got to remove the back seat. There are two 4mm screws, one here and one here. Remove those two screws, pull this back seat slightly forward, and it should pop off pretty easily, and go ahead and put that to the side. The next step after that is locating this wire that connects to the brake light. Now guys, I kind of dug around and looked. I was able to find it and trace it to its origin, which is on this side. I will show you that guys in a second, but what you need to do is look really close in there. You will see this wire kind of tucked on this side of the subframe, and it's pretty identified by this little cloth wrapping. I don't know if all of them have it, but mine does. It kind of looks like snake skin. Once I found that, I was able to trace it, and I was able to go to the source and unplug it. I will be showing you that right now. Now to make this part a little easier, I went ahead and removed the plastic that was here. It's very simple. There's a star screwdriver that's here. Go ahead and remove that. There is a 4mm Allen key here, a 4mm Allen key here, and a 4mm Allen key here. Once you remove those, you can pop off this panel, and as I was tracing the wire, I was able to find the source. Now guys, it is in this little boot that's tucked away like this. It was basically like this in the subframe. It's a rubber boot, and when I pulled it to the side, there was 3 clips in here. I was able to trace the brake light one and remove it. Now guys, as you can see, the wire configuration on this one is slightly different. It's red, violet, and black versus this one is yellow, violet, and black. But it doesn't really matter as long as you pay attention to the way the wire configuration is. Now my thought really is to leave this plugged in to the OEM harness. I don't want to discourage you from doing it your way, but I do not want to damage this factory harness. I could always buy a rear brake light. They're like 25 bucks, not a big deal, but I would hate to damage this OEM connector that's here. And because we're using something off of a different model, because TST does not make one for the Benelli, we're gonna have to modify these plugs in order for it to work. So my thought is to go ahead and cut this wire around here. Now I know what you guys are thinking, Yama Yada, you always cutting wires. It's okay guys, we're gonna cut it here. We're gonna leave the integrity of the OEM plug, and we're gonna work from here backwards. And guys, I will show you how to do it. It's gonna be very simple. We will need connectors. You will need a little common sense. And guys, I will tell you that this procedure, even though it will be simple, could be complicated for some. So if you start looking at it and you feel like it's a little too complicated, please do not continue. But for those that are willing to dare like me, we will be doing this step by step, and I will show you guys how to do it the whole way. Alright guys, first thing we're going to do is cut this wire. Now trust me, this will work. Ooh. It's always scary when you cut factory wires, but this is what we're going to do. I went ahead and cut this wire, and I still have plenty of access to the wiring that's here. I'm also going to cut this back a little bit to gain more slack on this fresh wire that's here, just like this. Guys, go ahead and peel a little bit of wire, just like this. I will be using these electrical splice connectors, and I'm going to go ahead and put 3 of these on these tails I just cut right now. Sometimes I like to double them up, just kind of fold it a little bit so it makes it a little more thicker as I slide it in. That is the first step of this install, guys. Once you get that cut, go ahead and put your connectors on and leave these ready to go. Alright guys, as you can see, I've already started the factory harness. We're going to do the same thing. Just peel a little bit of wire just like that. Just be careful not to damage it, and we will continue from here. Go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and bend this a little bit like this. Kind of fold it. Put another connector in just like that. Always pull and make sure it's nice and tight. All right guys, now this step is complete. We can go on to the next step for this installation. Guys, real quick, I'm gonna go ahead and plug this in so you can kind of see what it looks like. Once I plug this harness back in, now I have tails here ready to go to connect the TST modulator. Let's go ahead and make sure this is nice and secure. And here we go, guys. This is what we're gonna be dealing with moving forward. All right guys, next step is to make some connectors that I'll plug into this female side. So I have the male sides already connected into some spare wire that I had. And we're gonna go ahead and plug this in just so you can kind of see what we're talking about here. So this will go like this, yellow to yellow. I'm gonna do black to black. And we will be using the red with the purple. So this is what it's going to look like, and I'm going to go ahead and tape this up, guys, or put some heat shrink. That way these do not make contact and short out the circuit. Now, guys, I'm just doing this so that way it doesn't make contact in that splice point. I wish I had some smaller heat shrink, but I don't, but this will work for now. All right guys, and the reason why we did that is so that way these connectors do not touch metal to metal, because that will short it out. It'll pop a fuse and your brake light will fail while you're riding. So that's why we went ahead and put this heat shrink on, and we'll go ahead and fix this up a little bit as we go. All right guys, next step is to reduplicate the same thing we just did and put female ends a little bit past this point here. So probably about right here, I'm gonna cut it and I'm gonna put some other female connectors on this side so that way I can plug in my modulator. All right guys, now that we have those, we are almost there. All right guys, this part right here is what we're installing. This is the TST Brake Light Modulator, and like I was telling you guys, when you hit the brakes, it'll make the brake light strobe and flash and do a few different sequences for a little more visibility, a little more safety. But this can be intimidating, guys, because we will be cutting these wires. Now, I've kind of thought of this a few different ways, and because like I said, this is for the Honda Grom, it is not really set or made for the Benelli 135 TNT, but we will be cutting this harness here and splicing these wires into the connections that we've already made to make this component work. So basically the red and the black on this right side of the plug are your inputs. So it's black on the top, red on the bottom. Those are the in. We will be splicing these two to the factory harness that we cut that's right here. So this is the factory harness. This is coming from the brake lever, but this is the feed that's going to go into the red and black. So first thing we're going to do is cut this side and we're going to make the proper connections for these straight off the rip. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut the black and the red. TST, don't be mad at me. I probably should have talked to them. They probably have a wire harness just for this exact setup, but I just kind of stopped by real quick, picked this up, and just took off. So now you could just plug it in just to try it out. So we're gonna go red to red, black to black. So this will go like this. This will go like this. So boom. As you can see, guys, there is a third connector here not being used. Now we have the red and the black plugged into the red and the black. And in this TST wiring harness that they actually sent me for the Honda Grom, there is a third wire that just basically loops. I will be duplicating that here in a second, but for right now, just leave it by itself and go ahead and plug these two in first. And now we're gonna work on the second two that's here. And once again, guys, this side here is going to plug into the brake light, which I have behind this camera, which I'm going to move now in a second. The black and the blue will plug into the brake light assembly. All right, guys, just to do a little recap, here is the OEM harness. And as you can see, we have from left to right on the very bottom of this plug, we have black, violet, and a red. On the top here, we have black, violet, and a yellow. This is what was from the OEM, so I just kind of duplicated it. But the TST Industry has a black and red in and a blue and black out. So I'm going to act like the blue is a red. And if I duplicate this correctly, the red wire, which we're going to call it the blue, is going to be red, plugs into the violet. So basically blue to violet, which is here like this. And then we're going to go black to black, which is like this. And now all we have to do is basically duplicate this yellow to yellow. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and test this out real quick. I'm gonna turn on the key. Boom, and as you can see, the brake light is on. And guys, you won't be able to see the strobe because of the frame rate of the GoPro, but as I hit the brake light, it is modulating. I know you guys can barely see it, but it definitely is. It does like a quick 2 pulse, and I will be adjusting it so it doesn't flash as quick so we can see it on the GoPro. All right, guys, to adjust the flash, you have to take this little cap off. It does have 2 little screws that holds it in place. You gotta click that little button to the right, and the one to the left, which looks like a little cross, that blue chip, that actually controls the speed of the flash. And now that I have it set up, this is what it looks like. Hopefully you guys can see it on the GoPro. And there you guys have it. This is super safe at night, gives you a lot of visibility, makes you super safe, and it actually alerts cars way ahead in advance. So at nighttime, sometimes, guys, when I'm at a red light, my fear is that a car is gonna hit, run into the back of me. I know that's most of you guys' fear as well, but with this little brake light modulator, as I hit the brake light, you could see it strobing and flashing. And guys, this brings a lot of awareness to you and the motorcycle at night for a lot of visibility. Now it does have some modes. I like it to where it constantly strobes as long as my foot's on the brake, but it does have a few other options. You guys can refer to the TST webpage in order to set yours up. They have plenty of videos on this part showing you exactly how to set it up, how to install it in different variations for the sequence flash that you see here. But guys, they do not have a video installing this on the Benelli 135 TNT, and that's what we did. And guys, I know this video could be a little complicated, but if you follow the video as I did it, guys, you will have no problem whatsoever. And last but not least, that third wire, which was here, that yellow, I basically just spliced it straight from yellow to yellow. It does not go into the TST brake light modulator. It basically bypasses it and just goes straight from the factory harness to the factory brake light harness that's here. All right, guys, so here's everything all buttoned up. I got it all tie wrapped. I got everything heat shrink so there's no contact between connectors. And I'm gonna go ahead and leave it in this little location that's right here. That way, if I have to get access to this cap in order to adjust the mode or the flash sequence, I can do that right there, very simple. And guys, that's basically it. Super easy install. You guys can do this yourself. You'll need some connectors, you'll need some patience, and you just have to watch this video probably a couple times to actually get what I'm doing. But guys, it's very simple. No need for a mechanic. You can do this yourself. And I will leave the part number in the description section of the video so you guys can order it yourself. You will need some connectors, but I'm sure most of you guys have that. If not, just go to AutoZone or head down to Harbor Freight. You should be able to pick some up. And guys, with that being said, I hope this video helps some of you guys. I love the fact that it now hyper flashes. It's going to keep me safe at night. It's going to keep me more visible. And guys, with that being said, that's all I really wanted to demonstrate with this install. So with that, guys, be blessed, ride safe, take it easy on them filthy streets. Remember, you got to work on Monday. Peace.